students. In today's class, we shall learn about one beautiful story, Mother's Cauldron, originally written in Kannada by B T Jahnavi. It is translated by Dr. Anuradha PM. In this class, we will read about, we will have introduction about B T Jahnavi, and we will have overview of the essay. And in addition to these 2 points, we will learn learning objectives, session outcomes, as well as session recapture. So in this class, the story Mother's Cauldron, it is originally in Kannada written by B T Jahnavi. It is translated by Dr. Anuradha PM. It is an insightful Kannada short story. The theme of this short story is attachment, memory, and resilience. In this class, you will be able to understand the emotional and symbolic significance of the cauldron in Shivamma's life. You will explore the role of women in rural patriarchal societies through the character of Shivamma. You will analyze the theme of memory, attachment, and resilience in the story. You will examine B T Jahnavi's storytelling techniques and use of symbolism. You will reflect on intergenerational differences and social neglect of women's contributions. After the completion of this session, you will be able to summarize the plot and the main themes of the story. You will recognize the significance of cultural objects in shaping personal and social identities. You will critically discuss the challenges faced by women in traditional Indian societies. You will interpret the emotional and symbolic elements used by the author. You will connect the story's message to broader social issues and real life experiences. So this is introduction about the author B T Jahnavi. She was born in 1963, Bangalore. She is a noted writer and a theatre personality. She had her education in Davanagere. She writes on middle class women and Dalit issues. She is influenced by her father's political life. She is known for social themes and sensitivity. Her literary contributions focus on women issues and identity. Her writing portrays contemporary issues, realistic portrayal of contemporary issues. She combines personal with political narratives. She is active in literary and political circles. Her famous works include ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡವರು ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಕಥೆಗಳು in 1996, ಹುಡುಕಾಟ in 2007, ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸಿಕೊಂಡವರು biography that is written in 1999. Her works are translated into multiple languages. She is a popular Kannada literary figure. Themes in her works are Dalit sensibility, women's sexuality and freedom, societal constraints and expectations. She wrote about interplay of identity and gender and also emotional realism. Mother's Cauldron is a symbolic narrative. It centers around Shivamma and a cauldron. It represents love, memory, and inheritance. It is set in a rural Karnataka. It is translated from Kannada. The character Shivamma, she is the protagonist of the story. She has a deep emotional bond with Cauldron. It symbolizes strength and endurance to Shivamma. Shivamma herself symbolizes strength as well as endurance. She believes her father lives in a cauldron. It represents traditional values. The story represents traditional values. Shivamma's childhood. She is fascinated by a cauldron as a child, saw it at wealthy Gowda's house. Her innocent act led to consequences. She touches the cauldron. Father works to repay for the cauldron. Her father takes the cauldron to his home. Father's death adds emotional value. The cauldron symbolism. More than a household item for Shivamma. She believes her father's soul lives in the cauldron. It represents father's memory and sacrifice. It is a symbol of heritage, but it is ignored by others. But for Shivamma, it is a sacred object. It represents her struggle and identity. Shivamma's struggle throughout her life. She faces indifference from family. Overworked, she is underappreciated. She cares deeply for her children. She guides son's education and life. She struggles for respect and recognition. But unfortunately, she didn't get her relationship with her children. She had very emotional but complex bond with her son as well as her daughter. She wants them to succeed in life. She wishes they understand her pain. There is a generational gap visible between she and her daughter. Children represent change and detachment. Shivamma and her husband. Their relationship is marked by distance. Lack of empathy from her husband. There is a contrast of love and duty. Shivamma endures her husband's behavior, irresponsibility throughout the story. It reflects many rural women's lives. The narrative techniques of the story is very simple and sensitive language has been employed. Subtle portrayal of emotions can be seen. Strong cultural context is there. It focuses on the internal conflict and it is a realistic storytelling method. The story is a social commentary. It highlights economic disparity. It shows rural patriarchal life. It critiques family negligence. It raises issues of emotional labor. It shows invisibility of women's struggles. The story ends like this. Shivamma dies clutching the cauldron. Death is symbolic of eternal bond. Cauldron becomes her final companion. Emotionally powerful closure of the story is there, leaves reader with a lasting impact. The role of memory in the story. The cauldron holds childhood memories of Shivamma. She believes that her father's spirit lives through it, shows how objects preserve history. Memory guides Shivamma's choices. It highlights generational disconnect. And this story from Kannada to English is translated by Dr. Anuradha PM. She captured regional flavor. She maintains emotional integrity. It is accessible to non Kannada readers. It brings local stories to wider audience. The Mother's Cauldron's title is a very symbolic. The cauldron represents motherhood, nourishment, and also sacrifice. Cauldron as a maternal metaphor. It reflects cultural and emotional depth. It represents untold women stories. So this is from popular Kannada literature. It is referenced in feminist reading. We can read this story through feministic perspectives. It is studied in academic settings. It evokes sympathy and awareness. It encourages social introspection. Finally, this story is about the resilience and attachment of Shivamma. Shivamma's life inspires reflection, object as a symbol of identity. So, B T Jahnavi's voice is very powerful, a valuable contribution to Indian literature. Dear students, we have understood background and contribution of B T Jahnavi and the short summary of the story Mother's Cauldron, and we analyzed its emotional depth and symbolic power, and Shivamma's life was discussed as a portrayal of women's resilience and silent suffering. The Cauldron was examined as a central object of memory, loss, and identity. The broader social themes like gender roles, generational conflict, and cultural attachment were critically reflected upon. Thank you.